Hello, good morning. This is a brain dump. A lot of you actually really like chatty videos, which I'm really surprised. So if you're not into chatty videos, find a different video of mine. There's plenty of them that are B-roll heavy, and I'm going out and doing stuff, but this is gonna be a chatty video. I'm just gonna sit down and chat. I also have a giveaway for you by Bellesa. It's a spicy giveaway, so stay tuned for that. But this video is gonna be talking just kind of like some stuff I thought about love magic, hence the makeup. I wanted an excuse to wear this and not leave the house. So that's another reason. I think, of course, I could have posted this video closer to Valentine's Day because that's like when to do it. But honestly, it's been coming up a lot for some reason. Okay, so grab a cup of tea, of coffee, of your beverage of choice. I have matcha today. That's what I'm drinking. And yeah, let's get into it. First, I do want to tell you about the spicy giveaway. This video is sponsored by Bellesa. Guys, I need to share something insane with you. I've literally never seen anything like this and I'm in shock. The first ever collection of silent toys. Silent. Yes, you heard that right. Silent. The brains at Bellesa created what they call a whisper tech, and it somehow delivered us a bunch of assortment of toys in all shapes and sizes that hits all the spots in silence. What? Yes, you heard me right. It's so insane. They are all so quiet. No noise, full power, and hits all the spots. So of course, I gotta hook you up. I'm doing a giveaway with Bellesa to hook you up with all free toys. Everyone gets a free toy. Meet the Whisper Collection. World's first silent vibrators. Whisper Tech makes sure that you don't have to choose between power and discretion. Before I get into the details, let me show you the silence of these toys. The bullet. Yeah, exactly. You can't hear anything. These toys are so luxurious and they pack a powerful punch. They're powerful, but somehow completely quiet. I don't get it, but I love it. So you can put your pleasure first without waking up the whole entire house, or even your partner sleeping right next to you. And now in whatever format you prefer, the Whisper Bullet with 5 different settings. It is tiny, inaudible, but literally insane. Then there's the Whisper Rabbit and the Whisper Vibe, which both have 6 vibration speeds. The Whisper Vibe gives you the quietest G-spot simulation, while the Whisper Rabbit, which has independently adjustable clit and G-spot simulators, you know, in case you want to step it up a notch, but still in silence. Did I also mention how soft they are? And honestly, this collection is insane. You have to see it, not hear it, to believe it. And that's why I'm hooking up everyone with a free toy, either a free Whisper Vibe or a free Rose toy with any Whisper purchase. The link is in the description, so go ahead and grab your new vibe. But the big question is, they're quiet, but can you be? Okay, so I've got my matcha. I am gonna kind of try to break this up into a couple of sections. I think I'm gonna try to break it up into why love magic is kind of polarizing. You know, the bad end and the intense end, and then the more modern and lighter and sweeter end. And then we're also going to talk about kind of my personal ideas and my personal experience. Okay, so the first bit is, let's talk about why people hate love magic. Some people are very, very anti-love magic. And I understand that because there are so many folk spells that go into more on the domination type of spell and less really like love. So obsession, domination, and a lot of people really dislike this because in their personal beliefs, that person's will is being bent and that person's will is being disrespected in that sense of influencing that person in order to love someone that they maybe don't originally love. I also want to preface that a lot of these things are going to depend on what your view of magic is and how it works and how it interacts with people. These views are going to be different depending on each person. So it's fine if, you know, you disagree with something or whatever, because at the end of the day, we're all practitioners and we all are just experimenting. So if you have a different belief or something, let me know down in the comments, because I'm always curious to learn kind of like how people view their magical system and how like magic works and spells work. And I'm always very curious. A lot of people really dislike love magic because they view it as more on the side of domination magic and obsession magic. And like, obviously that's not organic love. This goes into the belief of bending somebody's free will. And again, some people believe that you can bend somebody's free will and other people believe that you can't. It just depends on how you think magic works. And there is something to say of like, in this modern day, and I talked about a little bit about this in my vlog when I was asked to be on a show called Love Witches or something like that in the UK. I don't know. But nowadays, for the most part, the folk style type of love spells that are more on the domination and more on the obsession side are not really needed anymore. The reason those even existed in the first place was because in the times that these spells were being created and being cast is when women weren't allowed to do anything. We weren't allowed to be educated or have a job or provide for ourselves or have a bank account or own a home or like own anything because we were viewed as property. We weren't people. So love spells ensured that they could cast upon a man who had money or had a home or just had a way to be able to take care of them in a sense. Love spells were a way of survival. It was not because they really, really loved this man. Maybe sometimes, I'm sure, but like for the most part, these people were not marrying for love. They were marrying for security. They were marrying for protection. They were marrying so that they could survive. And so that's a big reason why obsession spells and love spells and those dominating love spells were ever a thing in the first place, was because it was a survival mechanism. And, you know, as many of you, I'm sure, know already, is folk magic comes from the people and comes from a place of need. So we're not really casting, for the most part, just because it's fun. Like, you shouldn't be casting love spells on random people or your friends just because it's fun. You can definitely give them some attraction spells and whatnot, you know, but like, and if they ask especially, but you probably shouldn't be meddling in people's lives. And also that's a lot of energy spent on something that's like just for fun. But hey, to each their own. Then on the other, more lighthearted side, briefly, there are some people that are very forward about loving love spells and loving things kind of in that adjacent area. However, these people are not usually people who are casting the domination and obsession type of spells. They're more in the glamour area. They're more in the self-love and a lot more of the modern witchcraft. So like when it comes to self-care and self-love, like, you know, taking baths or meditating and really trying to attract the good things to yourself and just kind of like more of a modern new age type of approach. I think where this can kind of meet and meld is when it comes to people that work in sex work. No, they're not doing full domination or full obsession spells, but they are doing a lot of glamour and attraction spells that aren't really about self-love, but are more based in getting more clients or getting more attraction or getting more eyes on them. So especially in the club, you know, there's a lot of charms and spells and kind of tricks that you can use in order to attract more buyers. A really big piece of working in a club is that you're marketing yourself. You're not just up there like, you know, being cute and dancing and then getting money. Most of the time you are marketing yourself. It's a lot of emotional labor. It's a lot of catching the eye of somebody. It's a lot of being a very good salesperson and a conversationalist and having that emotional space to hold for people who don't feel like they have other people to do that in the way that they feel like they need. So it's really interesting because magic can have a huge impact on helping that. So not only are you being able to glamour yourself, you can shield your civilian persona from your club persona or from your online like sex work persona, because those two people are different people. You know, you are selling this character and this person and this energy, this vibe, and your civilian life is totally different, completely different. So you can do glamours for that, and I would consider that kind of like in the club magic. And they would also be doing glamours in order to be attractive and have somebody, you know, very feel intimate about you so that they'll open up and feel intimate about you and want to spend more time with you and want to get that VIP room with you, or feel like, you know, they can be vulnerable with you and order customs. So it's not really on the domination magic, but it's also not on the self-love type. So it's kind of a little bit in the middle there. It's trying to kind of like mesh glamour and love magic and attraction magic with business and marketing and abundance and finance magic. So there's kind of like a brief overlook. When it comes to my personal experience, I think love magic can definitely be helpful. And there's a lot, people want love. People want to be seen and cared about and loved, whether that's in a platonic or a romantic way. Oh, I didn't even talk about bindings, but that's another one on the people like hard no. Again, everything's nuanced. There's always like context in situations. I think context in situations is very important. I've definitely met multiple people who have done bindings when it comes to their partners or even their ex-partners. This usually happens when people are on the brink of breaking up or right as they're breaking up and they don't want to lose the other person. And while I totally empathize with that, that's one of the tough things that we have to learn, not only as practitioners, but as people, to let things go. And, if you are having to hold on to somebody so hard, it's not really going to be worth clinging. I've definitely done bindings with other people with their knowledge, and I know where I put them because I want to be able to undo them if there's ever a case that I need to. So I actually did a binding with one of my first partners, and they knew about it. So I asked them if that was cool, and they said yes. And I never took it apart. And I'm glad that I didn't, because it was never, I did say, things that like we'd always love each other, we'd always be in each other's lives. But I didn't get super specific because I just wanted to make sure that I kept that person in my life in a good way. And I have. And it's been nice, I'm glad that we still have this tether. And at any point, if, for some reason either of us want to break that, I'm able to undo it. And I gave them kind of a tripwire charm so that if for some reason they ever wanted to do it and, I was like, no, I don't know why it would be. But just in case, they also had access to break that spell as well. So that's an option when it comes to something like binding, but also it doesn't have to be this intense, like we're binding our souls together and we're binding our lives together. It doesn't have to be like that. But we see binding spells happen every day when we witness any kind of marriage ceremony. There is those traditional types of ceremonies where you have two people put their hands together and you have like a ribbon or some kind of cord and you tie the knot. Hence where the term comes from. And that is technically a binding spell. So, it doesn't have to be this thing that is like so intense and like this big ritual or whatever. Like you see this on a very modern, normal basis. So I don't think that love spells are bad. I just think it's the intention. I feel like at the end of the day, that's just kind of how magic works, of like magic itself isn't bad no matter how you're looking at it. It's really the intention of the caster. Like, what are you really wanting from this? Are you wanting to not lose somebody, or are you wanting to really deepen your relationship with somebody? Are you wanting to create better communication and deeper intimacy with this person? Or, even if they are more surface level, lighthearted castings of, I am going to do this little love spell of like, hey, I'm going to like throw some cute little like spicy thoughts your way, and hopefully you like them. I've known people to be like, oh yeah, sometimes like if I see somebody that I like, carry this oil that like I charmed, and it gives them some promiscuous thoughts of me, and they can do with those what they like. I know other people who would feel that that is, again, bending will or being intrusive. And again, this just depends. Like, these are your morals. I'm not going to tell you what is good or what is not. I've had love spells casted on me, and so this kind of goes into like my own experience. And for those of you who don't know, I'm on the ace spectrum, which means that I don't really have sexual attraction to people for the most part. Specifically, I'm demi, but like, I love aesthetics. I love a sexy aesthetic, but I don't want people to touch me in any way. I try to explain it to people of like seeing a painting that is absolutely gorgeous and you're like, I love that painting. I could stare at it all day. Pleasing to look at. I want to hang it in my home. I want to buy it. But then if somebody was like, do you want to have sex with that painting? That's how it feels. Like, no, I don't. And if you do, like I said, to each their own. but that's kind of what it is. So anyway, I've had love spells casted on me before, and it was interesting because when these spells were cast on me, they were more like love, lust, attraction spells. And the reason I knew that was because I was having dreams, which, first of all, I'm not really much of a dream person. I don't really dream a lot in the first place, and I especially don't dream vivid things. And I had very promiscuous dreams about this very specific person that I already was like, are they casting something on me? I can't tell. And it was really uncomfortable for me in the dream. I woke up incredibly uncomfortable and like did not like that. So because I wasn't attracted to this person that was casting on me, again, there was this influence. They gave me these dreams, this energy came to me. I did with it what I wanted. I discarded. I said, no, thank you. But say I did kind of have a little crush on this person. If they cast on me and I had these dreams, I'd be like all hot and bothered. I'd probably text them and be like, I had a dream about you. Do you want to know what it was? The casting itself is more of an influence. It's more of kind of like that seed planted. But if you're giving this to somebody, you're giving this energy, you're giving this, these dreams, these thoughts maybe to this person, the way that they're going to react depends on them. Maybe if they're easily influenced, that's a little more so, but if somebody is not easily influenced, that person is going to be really hard to cast on when it comes to those things, especially if you are casting on somebody to do something or to feel something or whatever. It is completely out of their character for them, that it's not going to go well. There's so many clashes. So you kind of have to be really creative on like how you want to get there. And most likely, communication, just like good old face to face, this is how I feel in any situation, even if it's like not love related. You won't use magic in for the most part. You can use like communication oil and stuff, but like before you try to go into just hopping straight into that manifestation, maybe try talking to people or therapy. You know, therapy can go a long way. I'm just saying. And there is something to say to wrap this all up, is that, again, when you're giving this to somebody, they can take this and do with what they like. So if somebody was already having these obsession thoughts, having these obsession feelings, be it if they were covering them up well or handling them well, and then you cast on them, that's going to push them over the edge, and it may cause them to be obsessive, even if you were not meaning for them. Like even if you were just trying to be like, think cute things of me, and then all of a sudden they really can't get you out of their head. You know, like it just depends on the person. This is why it's also really important to consider the type of person that you're casting on, and just kind of like things that they deal with, things that are part of their experience. So there's just a lot of aspects to casting in general, but especially with love magic, because you're involving another party, and most likely another party that is not a practitioner, that there's just so many factors. It's very chaotic. I think that's why I really respect love witches, because they are some of the most intelligent people that I know. Otherwise, that's kind of like my brain dump on love magic. I would be really curious if you had any experiences that you'd be willing to share down below. I also have some recommendations for more love adjacent style people. So there's Luna, and she's on Instagram and YouTube as well, and there's also Gabby Hairstick, and she's written a couple of books. These two people are kink and love witches. They're glamour witches. They are fantastic. If you want to do any further reading, then Gabby's books are fantastic, and Luna's videos are also great. But that's it for this video, brain dump video. I hope that you enjoyed. A lot of people have been requesting more chatty videos, so otherwise, as always, thank you so much for watching. Best of luck, be kind to each other, and may your gods treat you as you've treated others. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.